I'll tell you a really funny story. One of my first gigs in New York was October of 2011, and it was snowing. I was living in New York for 2 months at that point. Again, I'm from South Florida. So I'm like, if it's snowing in October, I am in so much trouble come February. So I had a gig that night and I had to get my drums there. And I ended up finding the trains were all messed up, obviously. Took my drums. I ended up finding a yellow cab. It was just like sitting at the corner of my block. And I was like I just like ran, or you know what I mean? Threw my drums in the trunk, got to the gig, played the gig. After the gig, still snowing, packed up my drums. I'm standing on the corner of, 6th Avenue in the West Village, packed, everyone, when it snows, everything goes insane. Like a cab or whatever stopped and said, "Oh, where are you going?" I was like, "Oh, uptown." And he's like, "All right, $50." And I was like, "No, I'm not spending $50." And ended up finding finally found a yellow cab that used his meter. And I threw my drums in the trunk. I got home. I like paid for the cab. And I got in my apartment. I was like, that was awesome. That was so cool. That was the best. I was getting snowed on. I know a cab wouldn't pick me up. And I just thought it was the best. That was a real good indication. And I'm like, this is where I'm meant to be,
Okay, so if that happened to you now, would you say the same thing?
No, I'd spend $100 on an Uber and get home as quickly as possible.